Hey guys, I'm back. Today I have something a little bit different for you. It's not going to be the usual week of plant to-dos format because I just don't have it in me. This month has been bananas. I'm really not ahead in anything, work, YouTube, house chores, anything. I feel like I'm just kind of trying to keep my head above water. So the week of plant to-dos takes hours and hours and hours of filming and editing throughout the course of a week, and I just, being realistic, I think if I tried to scrape up a week of this month, it would have been absolute crap. So I figured, since there is still stuff to do, primarily in my plant room, because I have been spending quite a few, I've been spending quite a few times. I've been spending quite some time. That doesn't sound right. I don't know what I'm trying to say. I've been spending a lot of time with my living room plants. I have downsized a lot on my shelf, so things have been a lot easier to manage, but we are still jam-packed in here, and really I'm I'm literally just doing the bare minimum. I can see a plant that's dying that typically wouldn't be dying, and that's how I know things are just like Willy Wonka in here. So I want to just kind of hang out, show you guys some cool things going on. We might repot, definitely need to do some watering, probably have to do some pest stuff. I want to get my hoyas cleaned off. There is a lot to do, and I don't even think I can get everything I need to get done in one night, but I'm going to try and get as much done as possible. And really there's not going to be any kind of format or like structure to this video. This is sort of like what a typical night would be like for me if I were just hanging out in here by myself and doing plant things, and the only difference is I have the camera on now. So I think I want to start in my tent because that one has been, I would say, the least maintained because it's closed and it's sort of like self-sustaining. I just kind of forget about it sometimes. So we're gonna start there, and then I think we'll work our way around the room and just see how far we get. And I think what I'm gonna do is just start pulling everything out one by one, and I'll kind of give you guys an idea of what everything looks like and just kind of inspect and see if it needs anything. And I think I do want to give it a good clean in there because it is pretty nasty, I think. So let's scooch this way. All right, so gosh, I can see lots of yellowing in here. But the first one I want to show you is something I have not shown on this channel because I literally just acquired it a few days ago. This is a Monstera obliqua. I don't know what form, I just know it's an obliqua. I got it from my friend Nessa, and ever since I have been growing out my esqueleto, the desire for one of these has definitely ramped up a little bit more ever since I saw Lauren's at her shop. I don't know if I have a photo of it, but if I do, I will plug it in. Oh my god, a dead leaf. I'll plug it in right here. Before this moment, seeing it in person, I truly had like no desire to have one, and I just thought it was like overrated, overpriced, overhyped. But there is actually something quite magical about this plant, especially once it gets nice and fenestrated and the leaves look even like crustier and dustier. I'm thrilled to have this, so thank you so much, Nessa. It is in soil. I don't know what the root situation is, but I can kind of see some new roots starting to form in here. So I'm not gonna bother it. I feel like a lot of the downfall and failures that I experience in this hobby is from me prodding at things. So I just need to chill out and just learn when to leave things alone. So that one, leave it alone. Doesn't need water, doesn't need to be repotted. You guys are gonna be shook when you see this, but when I tell you I had a hard month, I was not kidding. I basically was at a point where it was like anything that was stressing me out, anything that was really covered in spider mites or any kind of pests, I was just like, either throw it away or chop it back down to a stump. I don't care who it is. And I made no exceptions, because this is half of the rhizome of my Philodendron gloriosum, the big one, the one that I have featured in many favorites videos, have just kind of boasted about on this channel religiously over the last year. You know, I came really far with that plant, but when I had it in that spot by my window, I'm telling you, the spider mites just absolutely took over. And when I got back from California, I could not contain it. It was covered in spider mites, and I had treated that thing like maybe, I'm not even joking, 10 times or 15 times since then, like religiously, and it like would not go away. So there was a day where I was like, you know what, I'm not doing this anymore, and I just cut it all back. I cut it all down to a stem, and while I am sad, honestly no regrets, because we do not have time for that. Why is this yellowing? Okay, I definitely need to take this out, because this is my Philodendron Jose Bueno, and I repotted this on camera, and it did not like it, because I can see some rotted roots here, but then I can also see some new roots. So do you see it right here? Typically I don't like to mess with it once I see new roots are starting to form, but I also don't want the rotted roots in there to make things gunky. I don't know, that's a maybe. Here is the bottom cutting of my Philodendron Pink Princess, the first one I ever had, the mother plant. Look at how stunning this leaf is. It's so dark, oh my gosh. And it always has more variegation on the back, but I just love this color so much, this like black cherry color. Unfortunately, it doesn't stay this dark on my specimen. It hardens off to like this green color. But while it's this color, I just enjoy it so much. But yeah, not a ton of variegation on this, so we're still kind of seeing if anything comes back. The roots look pretty good. Oh, and in this video too, I'm going to show you guys the product of using TPS billions in this tent. But this is, I did not inoculate this one with TPS. I don't know why. I think because I thought in my head I was gonna repot this one soon, and I never did. So this one just needs to be watered, so I'll leave that there. My husband's watching hockey and it's so loud. You guys, this is what remains of my Philodendron Billietiae af, whatever the heck that's called. I'm gonna get this out of here because that just needs to go into a prop box. I included that one in my plants I own that I still don't understand, and clearly I still don't understand it because it's basically dead. This guy is very dry. This is a Philodendron. I always forget the name of this one. Why? Philodendron something. So obviously I'm going to throw the name up, but this is the one that I got onto a leca pole recently, and I can see the roots on the stem are starting to wake up, which is good, but still not. Oh, there's a root in there. Cool. Do you guys see? Oh, I don't think you can see it. There's a brand new root right here that's inside of the leca. So we got some traction, we got some stuff going. Root situation isn't terrible. I can see some new roots, but this one just needs to be watered and maybe wiped down because the leaves are looking kind of sad. This is my very pathetic and sad Philodendron Rubrosynctum platinum. I don't know what the hell this thing wants from me. I'm kind of thinking about moving it into moss because the roots in here don't look great. Don't know if I'll get to that tonight, but definitely need something. You guys, I actually think I'm gonna chuck this into the trash. this is something that I bought as a philodendron tenue. I can't remember where I got it from. I don't remember if I imported it. This was one of the plants that I included in the plants I'd like to glow up this year, and we're not getting anywhere. I just feel like this one is just like, I don't know, it's just like yucky and mangled and just like deformed. I feel like maybe I could up the CalMag. Do I want to keep this? I just don't have it in me to like baby these plants right now. But like the roots are super healthy. It's liking it in here. It's just growing like caca. But the other one that I have that I included in that video is doing so much better. So this is the other one, and yeah, the leaves were so tiny in that video, and it was just really sad looking, but we're finally like kind of getting somewhere now. So like this just hardened off last week, and then this one just fully opened pretty much today, and it is getting bigger for sure, but still no signs of like a real sinus or lobes. It's still in its very juvenile form, but it is happy. So I'm gonna keep tooting along on this one, but I'm just not quite sure about that one. This is my philodendron squamiqual, and I featured this one recently in a video, the one where I listed all the plants that I thought I would have killed. Recently got this one onto a tree fern fiber pole, and the roots are waking up, but I don't actually see any roots growing into the pole yet. But this one is a fairly new transplant, so I'm not that surprised. This one just needs water. This is my Alocasia bisma. I actually repotted this on camera. I don't remember which video it was. I think it might have been the part 2 of the popular plant care advice video, but it freaking hated that transition from soil into pond. Just the leaves just curled up like taquitos. So I got it out of there and I got it into water, and it's rootin' and tootin' like crazy. So what I'm gonna do is probably cut off all of these sort of older roots and then just keep these new ones, these new water roots, and repot this into pond. And I think I'm gonna wait. I'm not gonna do it tonight, but I'm gonna wait until this new leaf hardens. So don't need to do anything with that one tonight, but definitely soon. So this is my very sad philodendron white princess. Just a lot of like weird things with like the browning and then the spots. This leaf got super stuck in the caterpillar. Why isn't my camera focusing? And yeah, just she's seen better days, but you know, whatever. She's very thirsty. I don't remember the last time I watered in here, to be honest with you. Mr. Tordum doing fabuloso as usual. Got lots of new roots down here, which is so great. But I'm not going to do anything to this one. I did water this one not too long ago. You can see the soil is not dry. Probably could use some fertilizer at the very least. I think the last time I fertilized in here was like 2 weeks ago, I think it was maybe 3 weeks ago, 3 or 4 weeks ago. This is a plant that I have been putting off for forever to repot because it's in this banana situation. I really don't think I have it in me to do any major repotting tonight. I do have 2 spooky repots that I need to film, so I'll probably save it for that. Monstera Adansonii aurea. I know it kind of looks like an elbow, but it's actually the yellow one. And I chopped the top off and I gave it to Alice, and now I have a new growth point coming here. The only thing is that it's growing from the green side of the stem right here. So I kind of have a feeling that all of this new growth is going to be green. I feel like I need to like find an auxiliary bud that is sort of touching more on the half moon area. I do see a growth point waking up at the bottom as well. So I don't know, we'll see. There is an entire, we're gonna do this right now. And she's still tooting along. I really don't want to disassemble this. How do I even get this out of this tiny little hole? Oh my gosh. Oh no. You guys. Probably should have prepared with like a potting mat or something. What is that squeaking sound? Don't break. Oh my gosh. That's new. That's definitely never happened to me before. I think I'm literally just gonna leave it and let it sort itself out. Like, of all of the places for it to grow, it was like, oh yeah, I'll go in here. It's nice and toasty. I've got a strap here that I can just kind of, sorry, I probably should have fixed the angle for you guys, but that was an emergency situation, if you could not tell. All right, well, that was a funny little detour, but let's get back on track now. I need to clean up here. That was a disaster. Oh my gosh, I'm stuck. Big Florida Beauty, I don't know how she even lives in there still. She takes up most of the real estate, but I mean, when you look like this, you kind of earn it, you know? I do need to get this watered stat pronto because it is very, very dry. I did use TPS Billions on this one, and to be honest, this one has always been a really, really rooty plant, and it's been always like a fast rooter. It's been just a fast grower in general, so I can't really give any credit to TPS in terms of this plant because I haven't noticed anything different in terms of its normal growth. I should also preface this by saying that I am not affiliated with TPS Nutrients. I'm not like sponsored by them or anything. At the very most, like, I get a little bit of commission from Amazon when you guys use my link to buy the TPS. But like, you guys don't have to use the link. So really is just like an honest review. I have used different kinds of mycorrhizal inoculants over the last year, and I just find that this one is the best, and I really just wanted to like put you guys on it so you can try it because it's just so good. So I just wanted to make sure you guys knew that. I didn't want you to think this was like one massive ad because it's not. We're kind of getting somewhere with this Epipremnum pinnatum elbow variegata. Something just vibrate. I don't know, you guys. Part of me like is so ready to like throw in the towel on this one just because it grows really fast, but the size growth is not very fast. Like, these all of these leaves are like basically the same size, and it's just outgrown everything, and I don't know if I can keep up with the maintenance. And I just don't like the way these roots look. They're so freaking nasty. Don't like it. But I really should get it out of here and probably repot it. I can probably give it a chop too, but again, don't know if I have it in me tonight. Monstera Esqueleto, looking like the queen she is, and I told you guys in that video she was pregnant. She is so crowning right now, so we'll see how big that gets. But oh, this is one that I wanted to show you guys in terms of the root situation. This one was inoculated with TPS Billions. I inoculated my plants in here, I believe it was in August. Like the beginning of August. So yeah, this was not this rooty before. If anything, it was just rooting a lot in the pole. But in terms of the roots down here, I feel like it sort of slowed down a lot. But overall, the plant has just continued to grow despite not having a ton of roots in here. What is squeaking? I don't like it. But ever since inoculating it, like, these roots are just madness. And I was kind of hoping that this plant would be able to like live in here until it outgrew this pole, because you can see we still have quite some ways to go, but I just don't know how long this is going to be able to live in here. Like, it's like really dense. It's super hard. So I'm just gonna play it by ear and just kind of keep an eye on it. But man, the roots are just incredible. Oh my gosh, I feel so overwhelmed by a lot of the plants in here right now, I'm not gonna lie. We have another philodendron pink princess. The variegation is kind of so-so, but again, like I've mentioned multiple times, I really just enjoy this plant for the leaf color. This one is very dry, so we've got to give that one a water as well. This is the resident Campos portoenum in the tent, and it has climbed the walls, and I was gonna sort of let it just do whatever it wanted, but the leaves are getting super bleached, and it's actually quite pretty, but just not, this is just not something that I really want taking up space in there, especially as my other plants grow. So I think that this one I'm going to just give away. This one has always been pest free. I really haven't had a ton of pest issues in the tent, so I feel like this is one that I could probably pretty easily just like sell for whatever, and then or just give away, or maybe give it to one of my neighbors. So it's time to say bye. I'm just not really in love with this plant. It is more so just like a filler plant. When I told you guys that I am at growing the philodendron splendid, I wasn't freaking joking. Like, I got this thing onto like a legit pole and everything, and it grows very fast, but the leaves just won't size up for me. So you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna throw this away. I'm gonna throw this entire thing away. I just can't deal with it anymore. So it's going in the trash. I would never do that. I love this plant so much. So obviously we gotta handle this. I don't know what that's gonna entail, but something's gotta happen. Oh, this one is very exciting. I haven't shown anyone this yet. I legitimately have no freaking clue what I'm doing with these. I don't even know how these root or anything, but this is a newer acquisition. It's a wild guy. But this is some kind of Dioscorea discolor. Maybe not a discolor. I got one from my friend Vincent, which I'll show you in a bit if you missed it in my other video, in my new plants video. But he came to pick up something for me recently and then just brought these over. It's a different variety, I think from Equigenera, but doesn't it look like a freaking Hoya? It's like if a Hoya and an Anthurium had a baby. It is so freaking cool. I love it. I just don't know how this thing roots, where it roots from. I really don't want to kill it, but I would love to grow this out on my shelf and just kind of let it take over and be crazy and wild, but we gotta get some roots on it first. I feel like this one is my star player in terms of TPS nutrients sort of working its magic. This is the newest leaf in my care. I don't know if this is TPS or fertilizer or what, but you guys, I literally bought this plant from Lauren from the Tropicals Plant Show, and I was like, I love how long and like narrow these leaves are, and they're so dark and they're so beautiful. And then this guy was just like, what's up? I had such a hard time rooting this one because it's a philodendron of this kind. I was not super worried. I was like, oh, it's probably gonna root super fast. I'm working with a lot of like long aerial roots. long stem, but nothing. And I had it in this mixture of leca and tree fern fiber with a lot of perlite and pon, and yeah, I just like would not do anything. I had stuck the aerial roots in there and it sort of looked like it wanted to wake up for a long time, but it just kind of sat there, and I was honestly worried it was gonna rot or it was gonna just mush and die. But ever since I inoculated it with TPS, like when I tell you guys, I have not seen roots with this kind of sort of growth pattern, like pretty much with any of my plants. It's just wild. Like they're so fuzzy and like they're growing out of everywhere. It's like I inoculated it and then one day it just absolutely took off. I even inoculated in the moss. It has been non-stop since then. Like even now, it just, she's going. And yeah, I don't know if it's just like coincidence that this new leaf came out shortly after like these started going, but look at like the freaking difference between these two. It's like a totally different plant. I was so confused when this came out. I was like, is that coming from that plant? It's got like weird like variegation splotches, but I think that's just kind of a one-off, and I hope it's nothing bad because it doesn't really look like variegation. But anywho, yeah, this is my like poster child for the TPS nutrients because I seriously was so close to getting it out of here and just putting it in straight perlite or even just water, because I'm like, if we don't get roots on this guy soon, all of these leaves are going to drop. And I have not lost one leaf since acquiring it, and it was a new import, and that's like pretty rare. And I don't know, guys, I don't know what to tell ya, but look at this new leaf that was sort of like stunted. It came before this one. These two actually were emerging at the same time. I'd never seen that before. But yeah, this one kind of is a little bit sort of like mangled and like underdeveloped, but it's so skinny and long. That's what I really wanted, but he has other plans apparently. Don't really need to do anything with that. I think if anything, I just can do a fertilizing because it's got a new leaf on the way. Oh no. Why does this keep happening to me? You guys. There's a corm in there with a leaf. Oh no. Damn it. I really did not want to have to repot this, but I think we're gonna have to. Not gonna do anything super invasive, I don't think. But yeah, we gotta rescue that corm, and I would love to grow another one of these plants, but I'm just, how the heck? Yeah, but this thing has become so compacted. I did inoculate this one with TPS as well, and just has taken off. I feel like the roots were a little bit stagnant for a while. It was still constantly pushing out growth, but in terms of like the root development, it wasn't like that much. If anything, I was getting a lot of these like secondary roots, which are these like thinner ones. But ever since inoculating it, I've had so many more of these like yummy primary roots come in, these like thick boys. But I think I probably should make it a priority to repot this one tonight. And what was another one that I said? Oh well, can't remember, so I don't have to do it. So this one is that plant I featured in my new plants video. This is the unnamed McCauley's hybrid crossed with a gloriosum, and it has a new leaf on the way, and it also gave me a brand new root in tree fern fiber, and I didn't know that the roots were red like McCauley's. That is just so freaking precious. So stoked about that. Hydration levels look perfect actually, so I don't need to do anything to that, but I'm just glad it's doing really well. Here's another one of the Dioscorea plants. Still not seeing any roots. Maybe it just takes a long time to root, but I really don't want to lose this. I love it so much. Also got this one from Vincent. He is such a freaking angel. And then I have my little prop thing here. I need to replace this water. It is so nasty. Still not getting any roots on this freaking Winlingeri. Dang it. And then I have a Philodendron Felix that I have not shown. It used to be a 2-leafer. I got this from Lauren at North Shore Tropicals. I believe she still has a few available if you guys are looking, but I broke the second leaf in the car, but that's okay. We still have 1 leaf. We've got kind of something here to work with. Good amount of stem. So we're just gonna leave that in water, but I do need to replace this because it's looking a little gunkalicious. Gunkalicious, frigalicious. I don't even want to show you guys this sad, freaking bleached Mandrula. I never should have made that video about wanting to glow out my Mandrula. The second I made that video and put it in the universe, I cursed myself. It was just inevitable. I have not shown this in a very long time. This is my Philodendron Heterocraspidon that was severely attacked by thrips, which is so freaking weird because none of my other plants got thrips, and it's all in like close quarters there, but you can see like the damage that it left here. And then also on this new leaf, it's not as apparent, but there is like signs of thrips damage here in this corner. The stem is getting thicker. This little guy is looking more pregnant, and she's still, yeah, she's in recovery mode, so I haven't really shown this one too much. It's just kind of been in the tent, but this one is so effing dry, like so dry. Oh no. It's crunchy in there. I probably should get this into pond now, but we're not gonna worry about that tonight. Another one is the Philodendron Glad Hands that I also showed in my new plants video. Nothing really to report on this one. I do have some new roots, which is good. This thing is looking a little bit more plump, so we might get a new leaf. I'm actually kind of like devastated about this, and I don't even want to show it because I know Vincent is going to watch. But he gave me the most precious little micro orchids, and I think they all dried up. I don't know what happened, but I was spraying it every day. I don't know if it was too hot in there, but like I can see 1, 2 here have sort of completely dried up, and then 1 here definitely dried up, but I can still see 2 that still look somewhat salvageable. But anyway, this one is a Neophyllum. I'm just gonna throw the name up. I'll throw the name up of this one because I can't figure it out. So that's the name, and this is what the orchid looks like. And it's just so sweet and precious. And then there's this one, throw the name up, and the flower on this one is just freaking incredible. I can't. I just hope that it doesn't completely die, but it's not looking good. So now that the tent is empty, I'm just gonna do a quick little time lapse cleaning it, and then I'll start getting things sort of watered and put back in, and we'll figure out some of the things that need to be repotted. But I think I'm gonna do repotting on the floor today because it's a mess in here. So I have washed all of the risers and the glassware that was inside of the tent off camera. I'm gonna let them dry, and in the meantime we will start with this fried egg rescue mission. I am so freaking nervous, I'm not gonna lie. I'm like hoping this thing does not throw a fit, but also wouldn't be super surprised either. Gosh. I think repotting alocasia is like the worst thing ever. Obviously, are you freaking joking me, you guys? Look at how chonky that is. And another one. I'm so far from the camera. And another one. Holy guacamole. It's a fried egg farm. Oh my gosh, another one. Dang, that's big. No wonder this thing hasn't really been growing that much recently. It's been working on so many Oh, they're so big. They look like little macadamia nuts. I'm actually very, very surprised. This one is oh my gosh, you guys. This one is like a coconut. Look how big it is. Oh my gosh. I kind of want to leave this one and point it upward and sort of let it fill in. So I think I'm going to keep that one connected. I am very, very pleased. You did good, sweetie. Because I was wondering, I'm like, I've only had one corm from this plant, and like for the size that it is, I just thought that we'd have more by now. She just needed a little bit of time. So I'm not sure. I think this is, oh, this is the original corm. Okay, I see what's happening here. All right, I think that's it. I'm gonna try and keep this one attached, but I just need to kind of pick out some of this dead stuff. I'm really far from the camera, hold on. You guys are like a million miles away. What the heck was that? As much as I'd love to keep them, I do think I'm gonna have to sell it so that I can buy Christmas gifts this year. And I want to buy new bed sheets. I want to get new bamboo bed sheets because mine right now, they're freaking awful. They're microfiber and it just like holds onto every piece of dog hair, dust. It's just terrible. Don't ever get microfiber sheets. Okay. Feeling really good about this root system, and I am just so beyond thrilled. Like, look at this harvest. That's a solid freaking harvest. I do want to peel these back. Peeling back corms are like my favorite thing ever, and I'm probably getting a bit ahead of myself here, but I'm gonna do it anyway. Where's my scraperoonie? Oh, my foot's itchy. I do have to be careful because some of them are already rooted, so I'm only going to scrape the areas where there are no roots. And you are very, very far. I think I'm gonna opt for the same diameter pot, but just taller, since now I'm going to attempt to grow 2 plants in here, and that way it'll have more space to crawl downward, since alocasias love doing that. If you guys can't tell, I'm working on a new table today. I am getting rid of my extremely large table that I've had in my plant room. I just think it's obnoxiously big, and with a smaller table it's easier for me to film and I don't make as much mess. So bear with me, this is my first time like repotting ever on this table and I'm not used to it. For this little guy down here, I'm gonna make sure he's dang it, it's not even rooted actually. It looks like a little cabbage. I'm just slain. It's so cute. It's like a Cabbage Patch doll. I honestly think I'm gonna leave it in here and propagate it in here and just kind of let it grow into this plant, because how fun would that be to have 2? So let me get this potted first. And you know what? I'm gonna sprinkle some TPS billions on the roots, since this one is a new transplant. I don't do this to all of my plants, but this one always gets special treatment. All right, and then I'm gonna get this guy, I think maybe in the back. I'll just do it over here. Please root. Oh, I should scrape him a little bit so that the thing will wake up. Where's my... Oh, I am getting hungry. I think my husband picked up a frozen pizza for dinner. So I might take a little break, because I do plan on working late into the night. Really want to get my hands on my hoyas and kind of show you what's going on with my hoyas. I know that I've been sort of talking bad about them lately and just how much of a disaster all of that crap was with destroying half of my collection, but the ones that are left are definitely showing that they're grateful to be here, and I'm just so happy with the growth on it. So I really want to show it to you guys. And considering I napped for like 5 hours, there's really no reason why I should be sleeping early. That's like normal for me though. These like 4 or 5 hour long naps. Like if I take a nap less than 2 hours, I don't feel good. Like I wake up really groggy and just like feeling gross and just drowsy and not alive. But when I nap for like 4 hours or 3 hours, oh my gosh, it's like I've started a new day. This little cabbage looks so cute just sticking up. Oh my gosh. Guys, have you seen anything more precious than that? So I'm gonna let this chill out for maybe 30 minutes, or I'll have my dinner and then I'm going to water this with billions water. I'm not gonna fertilize right away, but I will re-inoculate it both with this sprinkle, the salt sprinkle, and then also diluted in water. So okay, first one's done. I'm actually, before I eat, let's get these corms into a vessel, but I have to label it or I'm gonna forget about it. Come on. Oh my gosh. Ow. I don't know if you guys noticed in my little time lapse, but one of the corms was rotten. Which way does this go? So we've got 4 or 5 technically, because I've got that 5th one in the pot, but there's just something so exhilarating about finding corms. Like I wish that like Vandula would hire me to dig through all their alocasias and find the corms, and then they can propagate it and sell it. I know that's kind of mean because, you know, you deprive people of finding corms in their plant they paid for, but I just want to dig corms for a living. I think it stems from maybe my original desire to be an archaeologist. I really thought I was going to be an archaeologist when I was little. That never panned out, and I actually don't know why I never pursued it, because I was very, very interested in dinosaurs when I was young. It's not like I had like dinosaur posters or anything, but I would flock to like the dinosaur books and stuff. Anyway, enough about me, because apparently I am, what is it? I got a comment over the weekend. It was like, does anyone else think she's self-obsessed and in love with herself or something like that? I'll throw up the comment here. You guys can enjoy it. But yeah, so apparently I don't know what it is about me, but I give off self-obsessed energy, which makes no sense considering I was headless for like a year. But you know, you watch 30 minutes of someone's video and you draw conclusions, and that's what you get. Maybe I am self-obsessed, but I would much rather be obsessed with myself than hate myself like I have for many years. Okay, it is time to eat. I'm starving. I can feel my stomach turning into ashes. So you guys will go on an ad break. I'm gonna go fill my tummy and then we will continue this. I am happy and fed. I have a matcha that doesn't taste very good, but it's better than no matcha. Oh my gosh, my hoyas are growing like crazy. It's a miracle. Okay, oh, that's not good. That's not good. So before we move on, I need to label my corms because these are gold, good as gold. I was gonna get myself a nicer labeler, like ones that you can just type and it prints it out nice and cute for my birthday, and then I just couldn't get past checkout. I don't know why. I don't really like shopping lately. It's too painful. It was my birthday last week and my sweet friend Erin got me new shears, and if you are not a stranger to this channel, you know that my shears situation has just been awful all year, I would say. I think I had good shears for like 2 months and then it was all downhill from there, and I've just been using this like crusty old scissor for everything. So she got me these fancy shears. I have never used them before. I think it's gonna work much better than what I was doing before. So we're gonna cut this Splendid because there's a lot going on here and I'm just not sure I like the idea of having a million bajillion Splendid props. These plants, they just don't stop growing. Okay, so let's go back. Let's get it out of here. First off, this is just not right. So, okay, let me think. We're just gonna start over and just kind of see what we're working with, but I don't like that. I can't like undo this hole and there's so many roots in there. I like want to disassemble it, but I kind of want to reuse it too. Ugh. You know what, we're not gonna bother because I don't want to use these kinds of poles anymore. I'm basically only using lazy poles, or I'm using the poles that are like you can just snap them open and closed from the back, because those you are able to take the roots out without destroying it. But these like DIY ones are just, they're not for me. Tried it, kind of really did like it, or I do like it, but not as a long-term hobby thing. I am still not used to this tiny table. I have no space for anything, but I think it's better than having too much space and making too much mess, so no complaining, Sherman. I'm going to wet this moss. I think going forward I am going to be using more tree fern fiber poles opposed to moss, just because I don't like untangling the moss roots. And I know that a lot of successful growers will just do the thing where they chop the whole plant with the pole and then just like start over and then just build on top of it, so you don't have to like cut any roots. I'm just really not that kind of, I guess, plant parent. That's not my like go-to method. I would much rather like get it on a new pole or untangle it completely rather than like cut the roots. Because when you do cut the pole, you're obviously cutting the roots up I can't talk today, up to a certain point. And I don't know, I just like to keep it intact. But it's a very effective way of it like growing on poles, is to just chop the pole and then, you know, repot it and extend it. But it's just not for me. And I don't know. The more time goes on, the more I just like don't want moss in my life. I'm just like so over it. But don't get me wrong, it's been a great substrate. I have learned so much about plants through the use of moss. Have been able to grow a lot of plants up to this point using moss. But I think it's just time to kind of move on from it. By the way, I did inoculate this one with TPS. I did not have significant root growth in the vessel, but the roots definitely took off in the moss. I think that like the most noticeable difference that I've seen with TPS is definitely the Esmeraldense AF, and I always go back to that one because I just remember feeling so like anxious that I was gonna lose it, like lose the entire plant because it wouldn't root. And it just was like night and day difference. Like I think I noticed the root growth after maybe 2.5 or 3 weeks or something like that, and was just baffled that like all of these new roots had formed. Another one I would say is my tenue, not the ugly tenue, the nice tenue. While the roots are not super robust in the vessel, I'm just noticing that since using TPS, it's just been growing so much better. Whereas historically, I just like could not grow that plant for the life of me. The other tenue doesn't care about the inoculant. It's just like, I'm just gonna grow like crap. And then the Escoleto, super rooty. So yeah, if you guys want my recommendation on an inoculant, I know that Great White is amazing. Alice is using it. She loves it. I've heard only good things about Great White. But right now I'm just really into using TPS. I haven't been using Great White all that much, but I'm just loving TPS so far. And I inoculated all of my Hoyas with TPS, and they're going crazy bananas. So I'll show you guys that later. This is such a pain in the booty. I'm so tempted to just rip it out, but I don't want to undo all the hard work we've been doing. Because then I can at least chop these off, the ones that have roots, and get it potted already. Although I don't even know what I'm doing, you guys. Am I like repotting this into one pot to grow up a pole? Am I selling it? Am I getting rid of it? What the heck am I doing? There's so many props. I don't need this many. This thing is ridiculous. I think what we can do here is chop where it's established. So I've got one root here that I'm gonna chop. I've got this root here that I can chop. And then I'll go like this. All right, here is one plant, which I think I can just sell like this and not worry about it. It's already rooted. I'll get that back into moss for whoever's gonna buy it. And then I've got this cutting and this cutting. How about we do this here? Okay, so I've got all of these single rooted ones. And now I have this long boy, and I think what I'm gonna do is chop them into single nodes. This one's got an empty node here, and then we've got 2 right here. So how about like that? What the hell am I doing with all this freaking splendid? And then we'll go like that. And then I think I'll just leave this top like that. So you guys, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 cuttings. This looks pretty darn cool. I think I'm gonna take a photo for my Instagram story, so I gotta make it look cutie pies. This is such a great plant. I love the splendid so much. I just wish I was better at growing it. They're just like so much harder to size up than the glorious, I find. But they're like stunning. It is one of my favorite hybrids, I would say. I'm gonna let these callus up a little bit. They're like seeping with their juices, but I can get these bottom ones potted up right away. I don't know if I should do it all together or separately. You know what? Let's just make it simple, and we're gonna just sell it as like a little bouquet of splendid. I used this scissor, didn't I? I used this scissor to make the cuttings. I missed my opportunity. Oh, I wanted to see this baby in action. It was just like a reflex, I guess. It's just, I'm so used to it. Anyway, we will have another opportunity to use my new shears. But let's just get this guy potted for its new home. And I just want, like, this one has actually never had any pests, which is like kind of incredible. But at the same time, a lot of my plants in the tent were protected. But I did have thrips in the tent on my hetero. So I'm not gonna like sit here and say it's like 100% in the clear, but I mean, it's been really, really good throughout this whole ordeal. You know what, I'm gonna go wash these leaves off because they're so dirty. And I want it to look really cute for whoever's gonna buy it. I think that's as good as it's gonna get. It's pretty cute though, I'm not gonna lie. Ugh, watery matcha. This is so nasty. It was one of those like instant matcha packets. Not good. Not good at all. Oh. Oh, so gross. This is the question. Am I going to root these in water? I think that might be the best option, to be honest. I think I'll do water but keep it in my tent. And then when they root, we'll see what happens. I'll either like sell the rooted cuttings, but I definitely know for my mother plant, like what I'm gonna keep, I want to do at least 2 plants on a pole so that it looks fuller. But I definitely don't need like 10 cuttings of a splendid. Things are super messy right now. I think that is all of the repotting I'm gonna do for the tent. I'm gonna get everything loaded back in here, and then I think I was gonna tackle this anthurium shelf. I was gonna gut it and just start over and then load everything back in, because I've been doing a crazy amount of thrips treatments and spider mite treatments over the last like 2 weeks, and I've been pretty consistent with it, and it's just gotten so messy because I just kind of shove it back in. So I think I'm gonna skip that because things are gonna keep shifting around over the next few weeks as I keep treating it for pests. So once the tent is done, then we can move into the rugsta cabinet. And then that might wrap up everything for the rest of the night, but I guess we'll see how much energy I have. So before I water inside of the tent, I'm gonna do a little bit more of a, sorry, I can't think. I'm gonna do a stronger fertilization this time rather than just using what's in my sprayer. So I'm just going to concoct a few things, and this is pretty much what I do in my sprayer, and it's what I've been doing in my sprayer, just with a combination of different things. And then I always add the Indo 1 Max Minerals, and then I'm also adding Bellions. So I have a little Tupperware thingy here. Sorry, I'm very anxious. And it's hot in here. I'm just gonna add, and you guys like don't even ask me about like the dilutions. What I would recommend you guys do is just look at what the recommended is and either use it at full strength or a quarter strength if you're going to be fertilizing pretty much every watering, or if you fertilize like not with every watering, you can do it at half strength and then do it like every other week or something. But truly, I am the kind of person that eyeballs things and then just moves on with my life. I really don't do it like to a exact science every time. I try and get close, but it's just one of those things where I don't have the patience to sit here and measure everything out. So I would much rather just eyeball it and see and deal with the consequences after. Whew, it is hot in here. Okay, so I'm going to be adding the TPS 1 fertilizer first. And I'm basically adding everything into this teeny Tupperware thing, and I'm gonna make a more concentrated mix than what I would use for my fertilizer spray, or than what I would use for my sprayer, and I will tell you guys why in a little bit. Okay, so I think that's good for the fertilizer, and then I'm gonna add Indo 1. This one has a very scary color, but the plants love it. Spooky. I'm gonna go a little bit heavier on the CalMag this time. I'm gonna add some liquid soil. I can't remember which video I would have talked about these, but I'm gonna link everything in the description and you can kind of read what everything does, just because it's, yeah, I don't want to be repeating it like every video pretty much. And then we're gonna add some Bellions. It smells funky. That means it's good. Okay, so I'm mixing it all up into this little solution here, and this should be more than enough for what I need tonight. I have 2 jugs of water here. They are 2.5 liters each. So what I'm gonna do is just add a little bit of fertilizer to each of these. I think I'm gonna add just a tad more because like I said, I'm just gonna do a little bit stronger of a fertilization this time. And now I've got more of this that I can use for tonight or this week, and I don't need to worry about getting everything out again. So yeah, let's go back to the tent and get everything watered. The tent is done, thank goodness. I have replaced that nasty ass matcha with ginger ale because I quit vaping 5 days ago, and you guys, so difficult, it's so hard. But basically, I'm replacing my cravings with a delicious beverage, so I just drink delicious beverages all day, and I'm very hydrated, and I've gone through like 3 toilet paper rolls in like 3 days, so we're getting somewhere, but going strong. Okay, so let's get into this Mills bow because it's getting late, and also I'm just anxious to get in here in general. Oh, come on. I wish I had like a little conveyor belt that went from this plant room outside of these windows down into the sink so that I can just conveyor belt all my dirty vessels into the sink. That is pure laziness. Okay, so let's just start taking out these Hoyas one by one. So let me give you a rundown. I have not talked about this on my channel yet since the Great Hoya Disaster of 2022. That is what I'm going to call it. If you missed it, just as a recap, I burnt and tortured about 40% of my Hoya collection. I tried this flat mites mealybugs combination treatment where you do like 120-degree water followed by alcohol. There were a couple of people who chimed in saying that I probably shouldn't have done the hot water followed with alcohol right away. There were some people saying that I shouldn't have done hot water straight into cold water. There were people who said I shouldn't have left it out overnight, bare root. So there was a whole lot of things going around about why that was an epic fail. But don't you worry, in November we're going to get down to it and we're going to figure out what went wrong. I'll tell you guys about that later. But anywho, my new sort of method to keep away these flat mites is sulfur dust. This is something that I've had for forever. I use it for my cuttings. I put it in my little like rooting hormone mix, and I've just always had it around. I have used it as a powder. I just sort of powder it onto the leaves, but I've never done it as a spray. But I've heard that this works really, really great for flat mites, and that people have noticed like a lot more growth since adding the sulfur dust. I don't know if that means because it has killed the flat mites and now your plant can sort of like, you know, come back to life and focus on new growth. But I don't know if this is coincidence or timing with using TPS billions, or it's coinciding with the fact that I've had sulfur dust on these things for a few weeks now, but my hoyas are popping off. But you can see they look really, really disgusting. So the application that I did, I added it about almost 3 weeks ago now. So I want to remove all of this sulfur powder on the leaves so that they can photosynthesize and breathe. Ugh. Doesn't work for mealybugs though. Look at that little. What I wanted to do today was basically wash away all of the sulfur dust, or as much as possible. I'm just gonna get like a bin and use like a little spray bottle, and then I'm gonna do some Mealybug Killing, and then we're gonna water. And I'm not gonna do any repotting just because it is getting late, but I do want to show you some new growth and stuff. So yeah, let's get started. You know what's crazy is that my plant room is actually not a giant disaster. I don't know if it's because I have the smaller table and I'm forced to kind of put things away, or if I'm just neater today. I don't know. Anywho, I'm gonna be sticking these guys in this little bin because I'm way too lazy to take them all the way to my shower. Should I give you a better look at it? Yeah. You know what? I think I was gonna do sort of like a repot and chat, but let's just time lapse this whole thing and I'll give you sort of a good view of what I'm doing, and then we will reconvene. Okay, so I'm just going to be voicing this over instead of inserting blurbs, just so that, you know, if you're doing something, you don't have to keep looking at the screen. But basically what I'm doing is just taking a spray bottle of water and giving them a good wash down, and using a Q-tip to very meticulously try and remove as much sulfur dust as possible, as well as getting any mealies that I found. But to be honest, I really didn't find that many, which is obviously a great thing, but I know some are still hiding. At this point, I'm like, you know what, this is taking too long. The Q-tip thing is taking way too long. So I just start using the Q-tip for finding mealybugs. But I eventually resorted to my paintbrush method, where I'm able to pick up a little bit more water on the brush and get it washed down a little bit easier. And then just taking a dry paper towel to wipe off any excess sulfur dust. On another note though, I know that on this channel I'm always kind of talking about no drainage and how much I love it, and don't get me wrong, I love it. It's my preferred potting method or growing method, but I will say that when it comes to things like pest management, pest prevention, pest treatment, no drainage sort of makes it a little bit more difficult, because you're not able to just bring it outside and freely hose it down, or bring it to the shower and give it a nice deep sort of shower and wash down without the vessel being flooded. Sometimes on my larger vessels, I'll like wrap it in a plastic bag or something so that the water doesn't get in there. But you know, when you're working like little plants like this, or with just your entire collection, I really don't see myself, or anyone for that matter, wrapping each pot individually when you've got like 300 or 400 plants. So it's just not feasible for me. It's not something that I'm willing to do. It's not ideal to be washing down my hoyas this way. I would much prefer to just hose them all down, but since I don't have that luxury, this is sort of the battle that I chose, and I found it to just be a lot easier than dealing with flooding pots or trying to bring them all in the shower and somehow wash them down without the pots flooding. So yeah, again, not ideal, but just something that has to be done. And considering that my Hoya collection is really not that large anymore, it was just something that seemed manageable to me. But don't get me wrong, this is not ideal. I'm not telling you to sit here and paintbrush all of your Hoyas, but this is kind of what I do when I am doing some pest management with no drainage. This is a very long night of plant to-dos. Usually I'd be okay kind of just powering through this if I wasn't filming, because obviously I have to do a lot of camera moves and I'm talking and I need to like make sure you guys can see everything. But honestly, if I can really just like focus on a night like this and I'm not filming, I probably would have been done already. But we're going on hour 4 now. The sulfur dust doesn't come off very easily with water. I find that you have to sort of get in there with soap and water, but I'm not super worried about it because I'm not trying to make them look pristine. I just kind of want to clear a little bit of what is on the surface to allow it to photosynthesize a little bit easier, because in another week I am going to apply another layer of sulfur dust. So I'm probably gonna repeat this like for another 2 or 3 months. I'm not quite sure yet, but I am liking the results so far. I feel like, I don't know, things have just been growing like crazy. If you guys don't remember which one this one is, this is that really sad Hoya obovata that I got from my mom last year. I can't even remember anymore, you guys, but she had this really sad Hoya obovata and I just was determined to bring it back to life, and it's given me so many new leaves, like this really big one here, the one in the back, that's brand new. This one here is brand new, and it's giving me like all of this growth down here and then up here. So I think in no time this is gonna be like a nice big lush plant, and I love Hoya obovatas, so I am not opposed to having another one. Over here, this is the only Hoya that I have ever successfully grown from just a stick, like a leafless stick. And I've actually heard that it's quite hard to grow Hoyas, like new Hoya leaves, from just a stick. But the Hoya gods were obviously with me because this was one of my favorite ones. I think this is a Hoya Colobosa or a Hoya Vil something, can't remember. But this was the first leaf that came out of the stick and it was a little bit like wonky and warped, but this one's looking a little bit more normal. And this is the one that's like pretty fuzzy. I'm getting blinded by this light. Anywho, yeah, this is that like one that has a nice sort of glossy look to it, but it is very fuzzy to the touch. So really happy I was able to bring that one back to life. My Hoya Mathilde is just going bananas. I 100% need to get this on a trellis because she's all over the place, but like all of this is new. This entire stem here is brand new. All of this is brand new. There are brand new ones down here at the bottom and it's just taken off. I feel like this one probably can be repot. It's mostly in leca, which is really surprising. Lots of leca. I thought this was in pond. I mean, there is pond, but it's like mostly leca. So this one, I think whenever I sort of tend to my hoyas a little bit more in depth, I'll repot that one. One of my favorites, the Dischidia hirsuta. I can't remember the last time I would have featured this on my channel, but I was just sort of going off about how this one is so underrated and like underappreciated. And guys, it's just so fun. Like some of them have this sort of like puffiness to it. It's like a little hollow ball and you can just squeeze it. I mean, you shouldn't, but you can squeeze it. And they're very, very fuzzy. They've got like little teeny tiny, it feels just like peach fuzz. And the new leaves have like abs and they're so fun. They're so cute. So I think this one started as like a 2-stem cutting, and I think maybe they were a little bit shorter than this. And it sort of just all took off from the base here. And so now we're starting to get like a much fuller pot, but I'm just really, really happy that this one survived that whole, I need an acronym for it. The Hoya, what did I say? The Great Hoya Disaster of 20, no, too long. Hoya parasitica. This one just kind of surprised me. This one was like, I think the mother lode of the mealybugs. I always found a lot of mealybugs on this one, and I just felt like they were all sort of emanating from this freaking plant. So it's pushed out this little guy, and how adorable is the new parasitica leaf. And then there's 1, 2, 3 separate stems happening, and I can see leaves starting to form. So there's like 2 little arms there, and then there's like some new leaves coming here. So guys, I don't know what is happening, but all the Hoyas are just have suddenly had a growth spurt, and I really am not quite sure if it's TPS or this like sulfur treatment or like a combination of both. But you know, it's good. Obviously it's working. It's so funny. I was like going to town trying to scrub this thing like crazy. I'm like, the sulfur dust is not coming off at all. And I forgot this is a Hoya serpens splash. So it's got like white sort of speckles. I don't know, the sulfur dust kind of makes it look more, what is it, splashy? But anywho, all of this up here is brand new. A brand new stem here. Got new growth happening down there. All of this down here is brand new. So this one's kind of taken off. Guys, I'm scared to death of taking it out of this moss. I don't know what Hoya serpens wants. I find that any time I uprooted it and put it into a substrate that I really thought it would appreciate, it just took a crap. So I don't know. Hoya croniana or something. This one has been kind of slow growing, but you guys can see all of this down here is brand new. It's like sort of these darker leaves down here, and then obviously the 2 little tiny ones. But there's even another one growing where a leaf fell off before. It's just all of a sudden my Hoyas want to live. I'm not questioning it, but I am sort of questioning it. I don't know. Hoya Bertoniae, haven't had new growth on this in forever, and now we've got 1 little leaf here. I don't know why it's having a hard time focusing, but look, it's so fuzzy. And then even my Hoya manipurensis, which is like my most finicky Hoya, is starting to wake up there. And then I don't actually know what this is. This is that one that I got from, I think I got this from Jing, actually. This is not the one from my mom. I got this from Jing and I can't remember what it is. But it's given me lots of green leaves. And then that one that actually has variegation. And then this is a test of my knowledge, of my memory. Hoya I can't remember. So this one pushed out this new leaf, which is such a cutie, and then it's also pushing out some new growth right there. Can you see the little guy right there? 2 adorbs, and then it's even pushing out another growth point down at the base. So we've got 3 growth points now. Actually 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't know. I'm not questioning it, but I don't know. My beloved Hoya callistophila, oh my gosh, it pushed out this new leaf, and look how dirty, disgusting, prehistoric, and downright delicious that is. So yummy. So this was the last leaf it put out, which was like ages ago. But guys, like, you can't, come on. The difference, so good. And you can see it's pushing out another little guy here. And then here, here, and here, I can see little arms starting. So I think we're gonna have like a whole thing of leaves here, because I can see them going like this. Ow, my shoulders. So yeah, I'm so stoked about that, because I would say that this is probably, the best Hoya callistophila leaf I've had in my care. Well, I don't know, because these ones are really good too. These up here, sorry, I don't want to tilt it more. It's like really late and I don't want to drop stuff on the ground. But yeah, I was pretty shook when this one came out, because it's just been a while since I've even had growth. And the lighting situation is brighter now and the leaf is darker. So I don't know what to tell you. This one is a new one that I got from Lauren. I can't remember the name. Of course I can't. But it's just another prehistoric, nasty looking one that I love very much. And then down here, I can't show you this one thing because it's a surprise for someone. This one is a new acquisition. I got this one from Jing. This is a Hoya coriaceae. I'm probably getting that name wrong. Green, I think, because there's a variegated version that I cannot afford. It is so pretty, but I will definitely settle for this one. It's like a thin leaf Hoya. But I just really like the way that it looks. Like the venation, it just so pretty. So I got that guy. I finally have a Hoya Wilbur Graves, but it's reverted. But I actually really like it. I don't like this lighting. Yeah, I just really like how it's got like super dark leaf, even darker but very subtle venation. And then that like gray speckle. It's just so beautiful. You guys, my shoulder is actually really starting to hurt. I don't know why. It's like locking up. Again, don't know the freaking name of this, but I got this from Lauren and it pushed out this new leaf recently. These are the older leaves. I really don't know what this is. And then it pushed out this little growth point here. So it's waking up, which is good news. And yet another one, I don't know. This one is like asleep. Like I think he's gonna be asleep all winter long. But as long as I can keep this leaf happy, that's what's important, because it looks like it would be sort of like velvety or whatever, but it's not. It's actually like very smooth, but it has a really nice feeling to it. The last Hoya is this one, which again I don't know, Hoya fungii or something. This new leaf came out in my care. It's a little bit bumpy and crunchy, but she's cute. She's so fuzzy. Not really seeing anything else waking up here, but you know, whatever. What else is going on down here? Oh, I chopped my Monstera Adansonii Aurea variegata, and this is the stump, and we've got 2 half moons down here. So I'm gonna try and grow this out. It looks like we've got 4 growth points that are awake, so I'm hoping to give 1 growth point to Jing, 1 growth point to my mom, 1 growth point to Alice, and maybe sell one. But it is very exciting that they're waking up. I hope that the variegation sort of stays. Ow. I did acquire a new anthurium from Lauren. It's just a little tiny thing. This is a crystallinum mag crossed with a forgetii lux. We got lots of things going on in there. So I'm losing my voice. I totally forgot about the big ones that I have in my bathroom right now. So this is a Hoya Publicalyx Splash. This is the one that I got from Alice not too long ago, probably sometime last year. And like ever since getting it on this circle trellis, it has just like taken off. All of this is brand new. All of this up here is brand new. And then ever since doing the sulfur treatment, all of this popped up down here. And then we've got another one coming here. And I think I saw another growth point waking up somewhere up here, but either way, it's like turning into sort of a really big plant now, which is exciting. I know this is a very, very basic plant. You can get it anywhere, but I love it so much with or without the splash. Some of the leaves that have come in are super duper splashy, like that. And then some of them are just like kind of all green. Where's the really green one? Like this one. Not much going on there. But these ones down here are freaking ginormous. Like, they're humongo. So, anywho, that is one of them. The next one is this Hoya pachiclata, and unfortunately my original pachiclata died in the Hoya disaster of 2022. But Lauren, I think this was her personal plant, and I think she either chopped it for me or she let me buy the whole thing. I can't remember. But either way, this is a much larger pachiclata than I had before. But all of this here is brand new in my care. These 4 leaves. So she's doing okay. I think it was in moss before and I transferred it to pon, and it was a very, very seamless sort of transition. Didn't throw a fit at all, and overall just is looking very, very good. So that's another one. There's really not much going on with this trash dumpster Hoya. No new growth points, nothing. But, you know, it's alive somehow. It is starting to yellow a little bit more than it was before. But I'm not going to worry about that. This is, I think it's another kind of Dischidia. Got this one from Lauren as well. It's on an architrellis, and the growth has just been insane. I mean, it's kind of hard to tell you what's brand new, but obviously all of this light green ones are brand new. And it's sort of just like taking off from everywhere. So I think, I don't know how much longer it can live in here. I feel like I just repotted this not too long ago, but I wasn't expecting the growth to take off so much. But, you know, we're gonna deal with things as they come. We're not going to stress about it preemptively. So let's get this cleaned out because it is just mad disgusting. I'm here with my seedlings, and seedlings are such a pain in the ass. I don't know if I'd ever want to do this again. I mean, it's fun, but it's not fun to take care of. But for the most part, they all kind of look pretty similar. Like they look very, very crystal mag, but I find that they do still have a little bit of the forgetti in it, especially in the emergent leaf. That does not look like a crystal mag emergent leaf. That to me looks like a forgetti emergent leaf, but they pretty much look like this. Dark, bolete, but with silver venation. Some of them have more of like a neon to white venation, like the dark forgetti. Like you can see, this venation is much different than, let's say, like this venation. Don't mind the spider mite damage, but like it's very silvery, whereas this one is more like the forgetti. This one is more like a crystal mag. So there is like some variance to them. Some of the emergent leaves look totally different than all the other ones. Like, sorry, there's so many here, I don't even know who to show you. So look at this emergent leaf, really, really dark, almost blue. Ew. Where is it? This one has like, yeah, like an almost blue. Why won't it focus? Almost blue emergent leaf. And then look at this one. Like pink, pink little sinus, really, really silvery, and glittery. Like they look so different. Like if you, oh my gosh, these freaking fungus gnats. That's what I need to do tonight. I need to set up sticky traps in my Mealybug because they are just multiplying in here. Like look at these two leaves. You would think that these are totally different plants. Oh my gosh, you guys, I'm having so many technical difficulties. So like that looks so different than that. So I haven't sold any of them really because I just want to see what they're gonna look like. A lot of them took a crap though. Like this one, this is gonna be thrown out. That one's mush. I've just been, yeah, like doing the bare minimum, but I just want to pluck off some of these yellowing leaves because it just doesn't look great in there. Oh, I was gonna show you. This one is my favorite one so far. It's giving Hoff X to me. Like the, obviously it's not gonna look like that, but this leaf in particular, the leaf shape, the leaf color, the venation, that really, really pink butthole here. When this emergent leaf came out, I was like, yeah, I am 100% keeping you, and I'm kind of hoping that this leaf design kind of carries through because it is stunning, stunning. Yeah, I'm just gonna start plucking off these leaves because I'm just like over it. But some of them are looking really sad. I did recently transition them. You can see I've got little labels on these, and I did this off camera. So, oh my god, these fucking fungus gnats. I have used both Great White and TPS Billions inoculant on these, and I'm kind of just tracking like the performance of each and just seeing if I notice any difference. I mean, truly, I feel like it's all going to be the same, but all in the sake of experimentation. All in the sake, all for the sake. This leaf is so cute, the little silver. Eventually I'm gonna have to get rid of some of these, but you know, I make the rules. Doesn't have to be anytime soon. This leaf is so cute. This looks like forgetti. Oh my god, these fucking fungus gnats. Actually, I have mosquito dunk water. I should use it because we've got like a fungus gnat colony brewing in here. Unrelated, but this is something I wanted to show you guys in this video because I'm deceased. Look at the shape of this leaf. It is a perfect heart. It's so stinking adorbs. This is the Magnificum. This is the Mag Crystal Luxe from Amanda. This was one of the first hybrids that I got from her. It wasn't in the package with Alice, but she had sent me a package before that one, and this was in it, and the leaves were quite small when I first got it, but she's gaining some size, and this one is just so stinking cute. I just don't like the lighting in this little corner, but you can see the shape and like so fresh. Anywho, let's set up some sticky traps. I honestly hate the way these sticky traps look, but they work, and I'm just over the gnats in this freaking Mealybug. So I'm gonna use these little ones here. I hate setting these up. I'm so bad at it. Always get stuck on me. I feel like I'm doing it wrong, that's why. Doing it wrong? Did I say it? Ah! I think you go like this. You bend it and you go like that, and then you, well, let me do the other one first. Okay, let's do this top one first. So I think you pinch so it doesn't come off. Oh my gosh. This is where I always go wrong. It always flies off when I'm trying to remove this part here. See? Get off of me. Won't get off. Oh. I can never do this without getting sticky. And it's so hard to remove off of your fingers. Hate these things. Oh my gosh, get off. Let's put one in my seedlings. And then maybe one or two where my hoyas are. I can't take this off. How do you take it off your fingers? The sticky stuff. See, that's what always happens. Oh my gosh, this is why I freaking stopped using this a long time ago, because I hate setting it up. There's probably a smarter way to do this, but my brain just doesn't work that way. Okay, let's just do one on this one. And where is a prime location? I can't wait to see these stupid little assholes stuck on here. Oh my gosh, I have goosebumps. Okay. It's all in your head, Sherman. This one can go. Okay. That's as much as I'm gonna do because this is just redonkulous. Okay. I better see some freaking gnats on these sticky traps by tomorrow. They should make sticky tape. They should make sticky tape for gnats that are like the hard wax beads. You know how it, like, if it gets on your skin, it can just peel off. I'm onto something, I think. Anyway, oh, my back. Today has been exhausting. I think if I weren't filming, I definitely would have been able to do more, but I always forget sort of how soul-sucking and draining it is to film videos like this and to change the angles and to talk at the same time. It really does sort of wipe me out. I would have loved to show you doing more pest treatments here, watering in my soda garden, and doing a little bit more plant maintenance stuff, but I gotta listen to my body, and I'm trying to not push it too much because I am just sort of walking on eggshells in my life right now. So I think this is all I can handle, but hopefully it was an okay replacement for the week of. It is going to be very strange to not have one go up this month, and honestly, this October was not the October that I had envisioned and had planned out for the channel. It's not what I was looking forward to all year, but I had to make a lot of tweaks just because of like everything going on right now. I wasn't able to sort of like put all of my creative energy into it. So I don't know. I feel like I've been like hyping up spooky season, and then like my life sort of turned upside down, but we're rolling with it, and you guys are like the best, and you always just tell me to like chill the hell out, and you know, you guys are here regardless of what's being posted. So thank you. I appreciate you guys so much. Thank you for watching another video, and if you liked it, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up because it helps us a lot on YouTube. It's been real, but I gotta go to sleep. I feel my face melting and my eyeballs feel like they're gonna pop out of the socket. So I will see you in the next one.